He was a sickly, asthmatic boy who couldn't even run across the street without collapsing. Doctors told his father he wouldn't survive to adulthood, but 30 years later, he was the youngest man to ever become President of the United States, a world-class boxer and an explorer who mapped the deadliest river in the Amazon. How? He didn't just try to get stronger. He embraced a philosophy that turned his weakness into his greatest weapon. This is the Stoic Code of Theodore Roosevelt. Born in 1858 in New York, young TD was constantly battling asthma attacks so severe he thought he was dying. He lived in constant fear of his own body, but his father gave him a challenge that would change history. He said, "Theodore, you have the mind, but you do not have the body. You must make your body." That day, the boy decided he would no longer be a victim of his circumstances. He chose to build himself from scratch. Roosevelt didn't know the formal name of Stoicism, but he lived by its core pillars. First, the obstacle is the way. When his wife and mother died on the same day, in the same house, he didn't fall into despair. He went to the Dakotas, lived as a cowboy, and faced the freezing plains. He treated every hardship as training. Second, control. He understood that while he couldn't control his asthma, he could control his preparation. He lived by the strenuous life, a belief that a man only finds his true value by pushing against the hardest friction life can offer.
When he became president, he carried the same fire. Whether it was being shot in the chest before a speech and finishing the speech while bleeding, or fighting corporate corruption, he never blinked. He was the embodiment of what Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Roosevelt's thoughts were made of steel, and so was his life. This steel wasn't just for politics, it was for every second of his existence. Roosevelt practiced what the ancient Stoics called amor fati, not just tolerating his fate, but loving it. He knew that life is short, and every obstacle is an opportunity to prove one's character. He didn't wait for the storm to pass, he learned to fight in the rain. While other men sought comfort, Roosevelt actively looked for hardship. To him, an easy life was a wasted life. He proved that a man's true power doesn't come from a flawless blueprint of health or wealth, but from the unyielding choice to never surrender to his own limitations. Roosevelt wasn't born a lion. He became one through discipline, grit, and the refusal to break. His life is a reminder that you are not what you are born, you are what you build. If you want to master the Roosevelt mindset, I've broken down his 3 daily habits in my new guide, linked in the description. Subscribe for more on the leaders who mastered their fate. Stay stoic.